A warm welcome to you. This is the comprehensive news package for the day. I am Ogtv Adewumi. First, the highlights. Federal government bans award of honorary degrees to 7 officials. Over 23,000 Ogun State residents benefit from renewed hope conditional cash transfer. Gunmen attack school in Niger State, abduct students. And on the foreign scene, Taiwan lifts restrictions on food imports from Japan.
On business news, Auditor General indicts CBN over recycled 29.7 billion naira dirty bank notes. Do join me later for more details on the business segment of the news. I am Adebola Oshomoji.
And on sports news tonight, Premier League clubs to be banned from selling assets to themselves from 2026 football season. Details of this and more coming your way on the sports segment of the news. I am Emmanuel Dasaulu. Stay with us.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, on YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on this platform: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now to the details of the news. The federal government, through the National Universities Commission, has placed a ban on the award of honorary doctorate degrees to 7 public officials. The commission said the decision followed the alleged misuse of such degrees. The Executive Secretary of NUC, Professor Abdullahi Ribadu, announced the ban when receiving a report from a committee investigating the award and public use or misuse of honorary doctorate degrees by recipients in Nigeria. Ribadu said the commission was compelled to act following alarming findings from a nationwide investigation into how honorary degrees are awarded and used. According to Ribadu, the trend has been worsened by the rise of unaccredited and illegal institutions, both local and foreign, operating as honorary degree mills. Professor Ribadu explained that NUC investigation uncovered widespread violations, particularly of the KEFI Declaration of 2012, an agreement by vice-chancellors of Nigerian universities to regulate the award of honorary degrees. The declaration expressly forbids universities from awarding honorary doctorates to 7 public officials and cautions recipients against using the title doctor without proper disclosure. No fewer than 23,000 residents across the 20 local government areas in Ogun State have benefited from the ongoing federal government renewed hope conditional cash transfer cards distribution exercise towards economic recovery and poverty alleviation in the country. Ogun State Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Honorable Olufunmilayo Efuakpe, said the program was one of the initiatives of the federal government to ameliorate poverty in the nation. Honorable Efuakpe explained that 754 ATM-loaded cards was available to be distributed in Ikenne local government, advised the beneficiaries to think out of the box and make judicious use of the money. In a related exercise at Odogbolu local government, the state program manager, Mrs. Fumi Baker, who has
about 23,000 cards to be distributed We've done the first phase. This is the second phase. If you don't get your own card today, you have to be patient and hopeful that the next batch will be your turn. So we want to especially thank our President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this initiative, for supporting our people and bringing our people out of poverty. I want to say kudos to His Excellency Prince Abiodun for always supporting us.
Distribution exercise was in phases. Other than 13,000 cards have been distributed to the beneficiaries before now disclosing that 10,000 cards were made available for distribution across 20 local governments in the state, out of which 724 cards were available for distribution in Udogbulu local government. The program manager revealed that beneficiary selection was done at federal level based on the decile each individual was placed after the enumeration done by the state operations coordinating units based on decile placement.
The beneficiaries were selected based on the decile they were placed when our sister agency did the enumeration. When the enumeration was done, people were placed on different deciles. So the people that were selected for this round of card distribution are the poorest of the poor.
Separate contributions, the chairman of Ikene and Udogbulu local government, Honorable Asimi Jamiu and Dr. Dia Babatunde, who was represented by the head of local government administration, Mr. Wobotu Victor, affirmed that the gesture had contributed to the social economy of the areas, advised the beneficiaries to see it as grants that would multiply their businesses. Speaking on behalf of beneficiaries in Udogbulu Council, the trio of Mr. Dewumi Ezekiel, Mrs. Ogunforo Atitilayo, and Mrs. Aregbeshola Rashidat, and Mrs. Khadijat Alimi from Ikena local government appreciated President Bola Tinubu and Prince Dakpo Abiodun-led administration for having considerations for the vulnerable, assuring to leverage their businesses with the gesture. Away from that, the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters has directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to immediately pay the insurance premium due to corps members who were injured or killed while serving as ad hoc staff during elections. The directive followed a presentation by the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, delivered by the Director of Welfare, Omotade Ayodele Folorunsho, who disclosed that insurance claims for corps members injured in the 2023 general election remains unpaid. It revealed that 2 corps members were shot in Uwani, Delta State, and 1 in Akwa Ibom, leaving all 3 permanently disabled. Folorunsho explained that while the NYSC had handled some aspect of the insurance and medical care, the 1 million naira due under the Memorandum of Understanding with INEC has not been redeemed. He lamented recurring poor arrangements during elections, which he said exposed corps members to grave risk. Visibly emotional, he recalled the 2011 elections where 10 corps members were killed, a tragedy for which he personally oversaw burial arrangements. He suggested that the deployment of corps members for election duties be supervised by the Office of the National Security Advisor, given its role in the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. Following his presentation, a committee member, Alex Ibuna, moved a motion unanimously adopted directing INEC to compel its insurance provider to pay the affected corps members within 4 weeks. Another batch of 2,278 corps members, intended to undertake one-year mandatory service to their fatherland under the National Youth Service Corps, has been formally sworn in Ogun State. The new batch of corps members took their oath of allegiance at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Shagamu. Abdurrahman Anyotayo has details of this report presented from our studios.
With faces beaming with hope and excitement, young Nigerian graduates converged on the NYSC Orientation Camp in Shagamu to take their oath of service, officially beginning a journey of national unity and community development, marking the beginning of their one-year mandatory national service. It was a colorful and historic moment as hundreds of young graduates took the oath of allegiance during the NYSC swearing-in ceremony, signaling the start of their service year. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun was represented by Commissioner of Sports Development in Ogun State, Honorable Wasiu Isiaka.
I therefore challenge you today, as we serve into the role as service corps members, to uphold the ideas of noble scheme and remain conscientious in the discharge of your assignment so as to make a difference in your own time as well. You are agents of positive change. Strive to combat the painful erosion of our social values caused by greed and dishonesty, which have hindered the progress of this great nation. Your contribution is invaluable to the Gateway State, and it is a responsibility that you must carry with pride and diligence.
State Coordinator, NYSC Ogun State, Mrs. Olayinka Nasamu, delivered the welcome address.
I strongly advise you to familiarize yourselves with the NYSC Service Guide, bylaws, and other materials provided for you, as they contain vital information about your rights, responsibilities, and expectations during the service year. Do not allow anyone despise you in the discharge of your duties and service to the nation.
The Chief Judge of Ogun State, Honorable Justice Musumola Tikolu, represented by Chief Registrar Mr. Olakunleyin Lukman Oke, administered the oath of allegiance before they were sworn in for the service year. After their 3 weeks of orientation, the corps members will be deployed to different parts of Ogun State for their primary assignment, both in public and private establishments. 25! With faces beaming with hope and
Consequent upon the ongoing investigation embarked upon by the Ogun State House of Assembly on alleged unauthorized deductions from the victims of the defunct Anchor Borrowers Program in this state, the House through its Committee on Agriculture at its sitting has re-invited former Commissioner for Agriculture Dr. Adiola Samson Odedino to appear before it. Is to shed more light on the circumstances surrounding the alleged deductions. Kolawole Osho's report is presented in this package.
The invitation was issued by the House Committee on Agriculture led by Honorable Waliu Oude during an interface with all stakeholders and victims of the program at the Assembly Complex, Okemosong, Abeokuta. The chairman, in company of other members, resolved that the presence of the former Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adiola Odedino, was essential to make progress on the matter. The committee also directed the council who represented the former commissioner at the meeting to convey the latest invitation to him. The committee further mandated Wema Bank, Abeokuta branch, to present the names and signatories of all service providers who were engaged and whose accounts were credited for the program, and to invite one Mr. Gbenga Adelano, who represented the bank on the project management team at the next meeting. The bank was also directed to submit records of all funds disbursed, money earned from the leftover of input sales, full deductions made, and the outstanding balances yet to be reconciled before the Assembly. In addition, the committee equally directed the Ogun State chapter of the Nigeria Cassava Growers Association and the Ogun State Agricultural Development Program, OGADE, to jointly present an authenticated list of beneficiaries with itemized details of inputs received, including fertilizers, chemicals, and other supporting documents at the next meeting, which date would be communicated to all stakeholders and victims.
And still to come on the news tonight, NDLEA arrests 230 suspects, seize illicit drugs, weapons in 30-day operation in Kano. More news and report after this timeout. Do stay with us. Glad to know you're still there watching, and if you're just joining us, this is Ogtv Comprehensive News Package for the day. Gunmen have reportedly kidnapped an undisclosed number of students during an attack on St. Mary's Primary and Secondary School, Papiri, Niger State. It was learned that the attackers stormed the school, said to be a private Catholic school located in Agwara local government area of the state. On Thursday night, sources said the gunmen arrived in large numbers, riding on over 60 motorcycles and accompanied by a van. They were said to have shot the school's gatekeeper, leaving him with serious injuries. The Niger State government, in a statement signed by the secretary to the state government, Alhaji Abubakar Usman, condemned the adoption and said the incident occurred despite earlier security intelligence warning of heightened threats in parts of Niger North Senatorial District. The government noted it had ordered the temporary closure of all boarding schools within the affected zone as a precautionary measure. The government confirmed that full-scale investigation and search and rescue efforts are underway and assured the public it remains in close communication with security agencies. It also urged school proprietors and community leaders to adhere strictly to previously issued security directives. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has described the death of Olusegun Awolowo, the grandson of former Nigerian nationalist and statesman Chief Obafemi Awolowo, as a deeply profound personal loss. The governor, in a statement issued by his media aide Kayode Akimade, described the lawyer and former executive director of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council as a gentleman par excellence, a voice of courage, and a consummate public servant, describing his death as a deeply shocking incident. Abiodun stated that he received news of the passing of the first grandson of the late sage with utter disbelief, but will, however, treasure memories of his acquaintance. Segun Awolowo, according to him, was an affable, highly intelligent, extremely accommodating, and easygoing person. The first anniversary of Honorable Afis Balogun administration as chairman of Abeokuta South local government has featured key community projects, political appointments, and financial empowerment for residents. Machi Shoumi reports on the several activities of the one-year scorecard of the council's elsewhere. His report.
Marking 1 year in office, the Afis Balogun-led administration in Abeokuta South local government rolls out several activities aimed at strengthening grassroots governance and improving residents' welfare as part of efforts to deepen the delivery of dividends of democracy. The Ogun State governor appoints 5 ward-level executives of the All Progressives Congress as special assistants political in the council area. The appointees received their letters during the anniversary events alongside the inauguration of revenue consultants engaged to enhance the council's internally generated revenue.
I've been expecting this thing for almost 2-3 months. Appreciate the chairman. We appreciate all the leaders in Abeokuta South.
Party leaders in Abeokuta South commend the chairman's first year in office, describing it as impactful and focused on development.
The reward for good work is more work. Yeah, he's trying his best, putting all effort to make it happen. And we need him to do more.
He's trying his best, and we pray to God to continue supporting him to steer the affairs of Abeokuta local government. Yes, so far so good.
I want to commend them for all that they have been doing, all that they have done. I want to say that indeed they are doing very well.
Addressing residents, Honorable Hafiz Balogun promises more people-oriented projects and improved revenue generation to support community needs.
We have a strong IGR team we're building, so we're trying to develop more and more people, and a lot of appointments are commission-based, which is very unprecedented. But because we've trained the team on how to go about, on what the goals we want to do, they're all willing to.
The anniversary activities continue with the groundbreaking of Kenta Okebo, the Community Health Center, a significant step for the only ward in the council without a healthcare facility.
We're very positive about what we've accomplished so far. We know we're making strides. We know we're getting the support we need from all the stakeholders in local government to push all our developmental projects moving forward. So with time, I know that you will see more and more projects coming up, more and more initiatives that people are going to support widely, like the Ogtv, the health insurance we've been doing all across the local government.
Residents of Ogtv and Abule Oloni turn out in large numbers as the chairman commissions the new pedestrian bridge linking both communities, expressing gratitude for the infrastructure, daily movement, and safety. Matthew Shoumi, Ogtv News.
Similarly, Abeokuta North local government is set for a significant economic boost as the Prince Dakwa Abiodun ultra-modern shopping complex in Lafenwa has been officially commissioned as part of activities marking the council's chairman's 1 year in office. Chairman of Abeokuta North local government, Lanre Oyebola Shodipo, said the new complex will enhance commercial activities and expand economic opportunities across the state. Toyin Ogundipe's report is presented in this package. It is an atmosphere of joy and gratitude as market women dance in appreciation during the commissioning of the Prince Dakwa Abiodun ultra-modern shopping complex. Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun, represented by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Gani Ramzat, leads top government officials, community leaders, market women, and other stakeholders to grace the ceremony. In his remarks, the governor, represented by Honorable Gani Ramzat, states that the complex will drive economic growth and provide traders with improved facilities to support community development in Ogun State.
And I want to use this opportunity to thank His Excellency the Governor of our state, Prince Dakwa Abiodun CON, who has been giving the ministry, because it is one thing to have fund, it's another to make judicious use of those funds for the benefit of the people in his local government.
The chairman of Abeokuta North local government, Lanre Oyebola Shodipe, in his address, spoke about the project, which is to inspire the marketmen and women of Ogun State.
Markets are very essential to promoting commerce and particularly trade at the very bottom of our economy, and that's the grassroots. And Lafenwa market is very strategic and an historic market because it predates Nigeria's independence, and that's why it's a market of priority. That's why we need to ensure that we uplift and, of course, start a process that you'll begin to have a completely new face of this market, and that's why this work is being done.
The project contractor assures the public of the building's durability and its ability to withstand long-term use.
I can tell you categorically, straight point, that we have one of the best qualities over here, managed 50 years.
The Yaloja of Lafenwa, Alaja Sidikat, expressed gratitude on behalf of traders, while other market leaders fled to make responsible and effective use of the facilities. As part of activities marking the 1 year anniversary of the Abeokuta North local government chairman, Lanre Oyebola Shodipo, a Jumat service was held at Okedo Central Mosque in Abeokuta. Meanwhile, the Oshile Ukionwegba Obadedapo Adewale Tejuosho has commended the administration of Abeokuta North local government for its contributions to the growth and development of Ukiono and neighboring communities. The commendation came during a courtesy visit marking the first anniversary in office of the chairman, Dr. Lanre Uyegbola Shodipo, held in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Again, Tony Ogundipe's report is presented in this package.
The courtesy visit brings together community leaders and traditional chiefs to strengthen cooperation and deepen support for ongoing development efforts in Abeokuta North. During the engagement, the chairman, Dr. Lanre Uyegbola Shodipo, outlines achievements recorded in his 1 year in office and calls for continued collaboration from residents to support progress. Some chiefs present appreciate the visit and use the opportunity to present requests aimed at further advancing development within the community. The Oshile of Ukionwegba, Oba Adedapo Adewale Tejuosho, applauds the positive impact of the chairman's administration and offers prayers for the continued success of his leadership.
I'm happy about the developments he had laid down, and all I can do is to congratulate him very heartily and then wish him the very best of luck in the remaining life of his tenure. I'm sure by the grace of God he has just started.
As part of the anniversary activities, a debate on spelling competition is held for primary schools across Abeokuta North Local Government. Owu Baptist Day Primary School emerges first, Holy Trinity School, Bagura, takes second place, while Ukiono United School, Ikiriku, comes third. In his address, Dr. Uyegbola Shodipo reaffirms his administration's commitment to building a brighter future for younger generations through quality education and sustained development across all sectors.
It's a building that is in progress. Year one is for us to lay the foundation, and if you look at all the things that we've done, there are indications of us laying a solid foundation so that by the time we start putting the substructures on them and then laying the brickwork, they will stand very firmly.
Elected on 18th November 2024, the chairman said his administration has, within 1 year, completed projects in infrastructure, healthcare, education, agriculture, and youth empowerment.
And moving away from that story, the Abeokuta chapter of the Olabisi Onabanjo University Alumni Association has staged its annual gala night, a gathering that brought together graduates and friends of the school in celebration of excellence, strengthening of old bonds, and more commitment to the progress of the university. The event also provided a platform for outlining of new initiatives aimed at advancing the chapter's program. Abdurrahman Ayotayo has details of the report presented from our studio.
It was an evening of elegance and shared nostalgia as the Abeokuta chapter of the Olabisi Onabanjo University Alumni Association staged its annual dinner night. The venue transformed into a lively hub of reunion, recognition, and celebration as members reminisced about their university days, applauded remarkable contributions, and reaffirmed their commitment to uplifting the alumni body and the institution it represents.
He said that you should not stay where you are. Don't rest on your horse, because the truth of the matter is that no matter what you are doing, what you have done so far, we'll use it to compare what you are still going to do in the future. So you need to do much more in that area.
And I'm happy that all of them are doing well. And they can also come together. You can see judges about them, you can see professors about them, you can see captains of industry about them. It shows clearly that university has come of age and have contributed immensely to the development of this state.
Today is our annual dinner and awards. We usually have that once in every 2 years. Bring ourselves together, we unwind, we network, and we see how we can impact our alma mater. That we have been doing for so many years. and we want to continue with that tempo. That's just it.
One thing I want to say is that please continue to do the needful and assist the younger ones who still have the opportunity to be admitted into that university.
A lecture was delivered at the event by Professor Senayon Olaoluwa and was summarized this way by the scholar.
My lecture is that there is a visceral and unbroken and unbreakable link between an alma mater and its product, that are the alumni. And that relationship is comparable to the relationship between the homeland and the diaspora.
Awards were also given to some members for their outstanding contributions to the association.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Kano State Strategic Command, has recorded breakthrough in the fight against drug abuse and related criminal activities, arresting 230 suspects and seizing large quantities of illicit substances and weapons during a 30-day intensive operation across the state. The commander of the NDLEA Kano Strategic Command, Abubakar Idris Ahmed, disclosed this development during a press briefing in Kano. He said the operation was carried out in collaboration with the Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigerian Immigration Service, Nigerian Correctional Service, and the Department of State Service under the Kano State Joint Task Force for Peace Restoration and Youth Rehabilitation, led by Dr. Yusuf Ibrahim Kofa Mata. Ahmed noted that the crackdown has already reduced drug misuse and related crime, including phone snatching, thuggery, and other social vices across Kano communities. He attributed the success to improved coordination among security agencies. He commended the leadership of the Commissioner of Police, CP Ibrahim Adamu Bakuri, for strengthening inter-agency unity and praised the DSS for its surveillance support. As part of efforts to give back to society, a group known as Born November Global, made up of individuals born in the 11th month of the year, marks its 10th anniversary with community outreach in Abeokuta. The group visited a health facility and later takes its campaign against child abuse to Lafenwa Market. Our reporter Margaret Ukulola has the details.
Born in the 11th month of the year, members of Born November Global come together to celebrate their birthdays and make impact in the community. This time, they choose the Comprehensive Health Center, Totoro Abeokuta, where they donate baby essentials to newborns delivered in the month of November.
We're giving some materials to be given to the babies that are born in November in these health centers. And we're even told that in case the other children that are born, we should try and communicate them that they will bring the rest for us. So we are very grateful. May God provide of them, and may their gathering be peaceful.
The group continues the outreach with a sensitization campaign against child abuse with the theme Every Child Counts. Let's Stop Child Abuse. The awareness drive takes place at Lafenwa Market in Abeokuta North Local Government area of the state.
I'm very, very proud of my moms. It's a good thing though. I'm really proud of them.
They explain that Born November Global is a worldwide community of people united to celebrate themselves and positively touch lives.
So we have to think of others, and the way they are using our children now, this nowadays is very, very bad. So that is why we come here to enlighten our people in the market. That is where we think we can talk to them.
We in November Born, we have a peculiarity that is impacting lives. And since we identify ourselves that these are the type of people we are, we come together to think of how we can impact people's life. We are legends, we are great, We are powerful. This one that we have, let's use it to celebrate others. The vulnerables, let's impact their lives positively.
The members reaffirmed that more initiatives are underway to promote growth, mutual support, and societal impact. The group says the outreach is one of many initiatives it intends to sustain as it continues to celebrate members and make positive impact within the society. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
Moving on, after years of tension, a major breakthrough has been recorded in Ijebuland as the long-standing rift between Olisa of Ijebu-Ode Oba Rashid Adesanya and the Awujale Interregnum Administrative Council is finally resolved. Inke Magu was in Ijebu-Ode and covered the reconciliation meeting. Our report.
A new chapter opens in Ijebuland as the reconciliation process between the Olisa of Ijebu-Ode and the Awujale Interregnum Administrative Council takes full effect. As part of the agreement, the court case earlier filed and pending before the High Court in Ijebu-Ode is officially withdrawn. According to a communique, the Olisa Oba Rashid Adesanya extends a hand of fellowship to the council, pledging full cooperation towards ensuring a seamless, peaceful and credible transition in the selection of the next Awujale of Ijebuland.
Talk and agree in total. There's no disagreement. Even where are some sticky points, we're able to explain this and we're able to resolve those.
The chairman of the council, Olorogun Dr. Sonny Kuku Ogbeni-Oja, formally announces the successful reconciliation, describing it as a major step towards restoring unity.
For the interest of our nation, Ijebu, and for the peaceful interregnum, all the thorny points that have been causing problems have been put aside, and many of them resolved, so that we can concentrate
and move
forward, and be able to appoint an Awujale that will be a pride, that will not be controversial.
Our peace achieved follows a series of engagements, consultations, and collaborative efforts aimed at safeguarding harmony and maintaining an orderly governance structure during the Awujale interregnum.
Olisa is no more angry with us, so we thank God for that. And we thank him too for calming down for us. We thank Baba Olisa, and God will continue to be with him in Jesus' name.
My fathers here, they have shown leadership. They have shown that we can be proud of them, and they have shown that yes, we can disagree and we can also agree.
The Awujale Interregnum Administrative Council welcomed the development, noting that many stakeholders see the reconciliation as a positive move towards strengthening stability and cohesion across Ijebuland. Inkem Agu, Ogtv News.
Away from that, the Church of the Lord Aladura Worldwide is marking a historic milestone as it celebrates its 100th anniversary. The primate of the church, Most Reverend Rufus Oshitalu, likens the church to a seed planted 100 years ago that has grown into a towering mahogany, offering spiritual strength to millions. Again, Margaret has the details.
Founded in 1925 in Ogereremo by Prophet General Josiah Olunowo Oshitelu, the Church of the Lord Worldwide, Aladura, marks a full century of spiritual growth, evangelical work, and global expansion. A church now led by his son and current primate, Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu, gathers dignitaries and clergymen from across the world to celebrate its centenary in grand style. The anniversary public lecture titled Aladura Phenomenon in Global Christianity is delivered by Reverend Isaac Ayegboyin, who analyzes the movement's evolution and influence within global Christian practice.
Now, what we learn from all these stories
if we are borrowing from one another, then it means we must learn from one another. And if we are able to learn from one another, then it means it will not be difficult for us to be united. Ecumenism should not be far from us.
Religious scholars, ministers, and special guests attend, including a former Ogun State governor, Senator Gbenga Daniel, who praises the church's contributions to spiritual growth, education, and community upliftment over the past 100 years.
For a church to be intact after 100 years is no mean feat. It therefore clearly means that God is clearly on the throne.
We are on holy ground, where our father, the pathfinder of the Church of the Lord worldwide, the late Prophet General, says the fellow know what he can do, started his ministry with physical demonstration of the Holy Spirit.
Private Oshitenu is a spiritual magnet that tries to bring as many people as possible together in decent hope. What is important for the church in Nigeria today is to realize that no church can exist by itself. We need to begin to go towards one another, learn from one another.
God has been faithful. God has been at the forefront. Especially, when your husband is a minister and you as a mother, you have to look after the home, after the children, and so many other things, coupled with the fact that you have things to do in the church.
In his remarks, the primate, Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu, reflects on the church's journey, describing it as a seed planted a century ago that has matured into a mahogany of immense stature, providing refuge and direction to believers worldwide.
When I was elected and appointed as the new primate, I was overwhelmed because I never expected it. We held on to the promise of God that if it is of God, it will stand.
As part of the celebrations, a new book titled African Christianity and Prophetic Ministry, authored by the primate, was officially launched. Margaret Okunola, Ogtv News.
Business News is next with Adebola Oshomoji. Stay with us.
Business News. The Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has accused the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, under the leadership of the former governor, Godwin Emefiele, of recirculating dirty and unfit banknotes valued at 29.77 billion naira in violation of the Apex Bank's own clean notes policy. The allegation is contained in the newly released Auditor General's annual report on non-compliance and internal control weaknesses in MDAs for the year ended December 31, 2022, which detailed how several CBN branches issued out banknotes already classified as counted audited dirty, a category of notes formally processed and certified as unfit for circulation. According to the audit report, the CBN released the condemned note across Abuja, Lagos, Bauchi, and Jos branches between April and December 2022. The Abuja branch accounted for the bulk of the reissued note, with 28.615 billion naira released between October. Nigeria's sweeping new tax framework, scheduled to take effect in January 2026, is triggering significant debate over how far government agencies should be allowed to go in collecting and analyzing citizens' personal financial information. Although the reforms aim to boost revenue and expand the tax nets, the most continuous issues emerging from the public discourse is the extent of digital surveillance the government may deploy to track the income of remote workers and Nigerians with foreign assets. The tax overhaul, signed into law on June 6, 2025, spans four major legislations: the Nigeria Tax Act 2025, Nigeria Tax Administration Act 2025, Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Act, and Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act 2025. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has warned that manufacturers spend 676.6 billion naira on alternative energy in the first half of 2025 and still could not meet their power needs due to the country's unreliable and unaffordable electricity supply. The MAN Manufacturing State of Affairs October 2025 report presented by the Director of the Research and Economic Policy Division, Dr. Oluwasegun Oshidipe, highlighted the energy woes that still plague the sector despite a drop in alternative energy costs in the first 6 months of the year. The October report also contained the latest manufacturer CEO's confidence index. The report read, though lower, alternative energy cost of 676.6 billion naira and raw material import of 1.72 trillion naira in the first half of 2025 remain a heavy burden on operational costs and employment, with 18,935 job losses recorded in the same period. And that ends the business segment of the news. The rest of the news continues with Okpeyemi Adewumi. To stay with us.
And from business news, we now move to the foreign scene, where Taiwan authorities said they plan to fully lift import restrictions on Japanese foods such as agricultural and fishery products that were put in place following the 2011 nuclear accident at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Meanwhile, an Indian fighting jet pilot has been killed in a crash at Dubai Air Show. Details are presented in this package.
Taiwan authorities said they plan to fully lift import restrictions on such Japanese foods as agricultural and fishery products that were put in place following the 2011 nuclear accident at the Fukushima #1 nuclear power plant. The total lifting of the ban will be officially decided after a 60-day public comment period. This will eliminate the requirement for radioactive substance inspection report, which have been mandatory for food products from Fukushima, Ibaki, and 3 other prefectures, as well as requirement for certificate of origin for all Japanese food products. According to Taiwan's health ministry, Taiwan has conducted radioactive substance inspections on more than 260,000 Japanese food products since the 2011 nuclear accident through July this year. All samples met both Japanese and Taiwan safety standards. Based on Taiwan's risk assessment of Japanese foods, the ministry concluded that the risk from radioactive substances in Japanese food is negligible. Urgent questions are being raised over patchwork of armed groups that have emerged to fight Hamas in Gaza over recent months. They include groups based around family clans, criminal gangs, and new militia, some of which are backed by Israel, as its prime minister recently admitted. Elements within the Palestinian Authority, which governs part of the occupied West Bank and is a political rival to Hamas, are also believed to be covertly sending support. But this militia, each operating in its own local area inside 53% of Gaza's territory, currently controlled by Israeli forces, have not been officially included in the U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan, which calls for an international stabilization force and a newly trained Palestinian police force to secure.
It is now time to join Emmanuel Dastalu for some sport news.
Welcome to Sports Update. We'll start in England, where Premier League clubs will no longer be able to sell assets like hotels and women's teams to themselves from next season to get around the new financial rules. It comes after clubs narrowly voted through a new system of financial fair play based on squad cost. The clubs met in London to vote on 3 possible methods of replacing profit and sustainability rules. Squad cost ratio got 14 votes in favor and 6 against, which is the minimum number that is required to exact a rule change.